More examples. So I look at the problem, I notice that it's an inverse function, right? So I'm not thinking about trying to find the cosecant of -2. -2 is not an angle measurement for me, but I'm trying to think what angle has a cosecant of -2. And so there's going to be a lot of things I'm going to think about. First of all, I'm going to think about, and I could write this, I could write, well, cosecant of some angle x is going to equal -2. You know, think about that picture. That might help. I'm going to think about that cosecant is the reciprocal of sine. So I'm thinking about, well, when then is the sine of some angle equal to a -1/2? Now, I know sine is negative. Let's see, let's draw a little coordinate system. Sine is negative in the third quadrants and in the fourth quadrants. So cosecant is also negative in those quadrants. But it's an inverse function, and so it's restricted. So I've got to be in quadrant 4, right? I need to be in quad 4. Quad 4. To get it to be negative and within the restriction, because I'm restricted to quadrants 4 and 2. Okay, so I want to think about that. And we'll think a little bit more about that in a minute. Okay, so when is the sine 1/2? Well, sine of 30 degrees is 1/2. So I'm thinking I'm going to have like some kind of reference angle of 30 degrees, right? Okay, so I want this down here, you know, I want that to be like -30 degrees kind of idea. And they don't really tell me if they want it in degrees or radians. I'm going to go with radians. So it's going to be -pi/6. So I'm going to say the cosecant, the inverse cosecant of -2 is going to be -pi/6. Okay. And I'm going to stop it there. By the way, that's in between -pi/2 and pi/2. Okay. So the next one, inverse tangent square root 3. So kind of a similar idea. We're trying to think of some angle that has a tangent of square root 3. Now, this is positive, so that makes it a little bit easier. So I know I'm in quadrant 1. And so I just have to think, okay, when is it the square root of 3? I'm thinking it's pi/3. So I'm thinking, okay, it's over here. You know, I could draw things out. But I'm thinking it's pi/3 that gets me that tangent to be square root 3. And you can look it up on a chart, unit circle, do other things, but I think the answer is going to be pi/3. So the inverse tangent of the square root of 3 is going to be pi/3. Sine of 335 degrees. Well, this is just a straight one, right? Okay, I could think, well, 335, I don't think this is going to work, but I could draw it and say 335 is going to be over here someplace. And what's that reference angle? That reference angle is going to be 360 minus 335, which is going to give me an angle of 25 degrees. I don't know, that's not a special angle for me. So it asked me to find the sine. I'm going to need a decimal approximation here. Put my calculator away. Again, I'm going to want to make sure I'm in degrees, and this is just going to be a straight input. I don't have to use the reference angle. I can just do sine of 335. It should take it. I'm expecting the answer to be negative. Yeah, so I'm getting a negative, so the sine of 335 degrees, I can just put that in the calculator just like that, and I get negative 0.4226. Okay, So sometimes we have to use our calculators, not everything's a special angle. And let's look at this one. So cosine negative 2 pi over 3. So where's negative 2 pi over 3? Well, we've got to go back this direction. It's going to be in quadrant 3. And so this is not an inverse. It's just trying to find the cosine of this angle. The reference angle is right there, and that's going to be pi over 3. I think I drew it a little too far, but okay. So reference angle pi over 3. Now that is a special angle, so I do know the cosine of pi over 3. The cosine of pi over 3, let's see, 1/2, right? Cosine of pi over 3, yes. Okay, but I'm in the third quadrant, right? So it's going to be negative over there, and so I'm going to need this to be a negative 1/2. So I'm going to say the cosine of negative 2 pi over 3 is going to equal negative 1/2. And that would be it. So lots of tools, different tools that we use, but that's just a few examples to help you.